Hello everyone. Welcome to the video course English File Pre-Intermediate 4th edition, episode number 8, unit 3, part A, Trip Aside. A quick introduction before we start. In this lesson, you can revise going to, or how to talk about plans and predictions. You are going to do this today. Yeah. First, we look at the vocabulary part, airports. It's a difficult one, but I think it will be okay. Then the pronunciation part is about letter G. G is a letter. You can see this letter above me. It's not difficult at all, but it is sometimes tricky. The reading and listening part is the article about Trip Aside, a successful business idea for travelers. And at the end of the lesson, we have a bit of speaking, couple of questions to answer. So, let's start our journey. Number 1, vocabulary, airports. Part A. When was the last time you went to an airport? Was it to travel somewhere or to pick up or drop off someone? Speaking of me, I have never been to an airport. It's sad, actually, because I'll be honest, I have no idea how airports work, where to go, how to book tickets, and so on. Shame on me. Look, here I can only explain what to pick up and to drop off mean. If your friend or someone you know arrives at an airport, you go there and pick up your friend. So you meet your friend there and they get in your car or a taxi and you leave this place together, like pick up someone. Drop off someone has the opposite meaning. You take your friend to an airport and drop off them there. So you leave your friend there, say goodbye, and you get back to your home or somewhere else. Drop off someone. Well, what about answering these questions? Try to say a couple of things at least. You can say, for example, the last time I went to an airport was 2 years ago, last month, and so on. And I did it to travel or to pick up my maybe mother, maybe friend, and so on, or drop off my cousin, I don't know. So now try to answer these questions. Just warm up a little bit before we start our main work. Part B. Look at the airport signs and match them to the words and phrases below. Arrivals, backdrop, baggage reclaim, check-in, customs, departures, gates, lifts, passport control, security check, terminal, trolley. Look, here you can be really confused. The words are new. But if you often go to airports, in this case, probably, this task will be easy for you. Anyway, try to guess. Try to do this task on your own, then we check it together and I will explain you these words. Use your intuition as usual. Let's go.
Three point 1. 3. Arrivals. 7,
Bag drop.
1,
Baggage reclaim.
9,
Check-in.
8,
Customs.
2,
Departures.
11,
Gates.
5,
Lifts.
10,
Passport control.
12,
Security check.
4,
Terminal.
6,
Trolley.
Number 1 is baggage reclaim. It is the place in an airport where you get your cases and bags when you arrive after flying. So baggage reclaim area. So you receive your things there. Number 2 is departures. The place you need to go where you wait before you go somewhere by plane. Just, it's like a big waiting area. Number 3, arrivals. The place where you go after the plane lands. When your plane arrives at the airport, your family and friends will meet you at arrivals at this place. Number 4, terminal. An airport terminal is a building at an airport. So it is a big building where you do all airport stuff. Small airports have only one terminal, while large airports can have several terminals. So I don't know how to explain it, just a building. Number 5, lifts. I think no comments. A lift is a thing that can take you up and down. Number 6, trolley, or just a trolley. It is a thing that you can roll to move your cases, bags easily if you have a lot of things with you. Probably, a supermarket trolley, and it is an airport trolley. It helps you to move your cases and bags. Number 7, backdrop. It is a place where you can leave your cases and bags to be put on a plane if you have already checked in for the flight. So again, baggage reclaim, you pick your stuff there, pick up your stuff. Backdrop, you leave your things there. It's something like that. Number 8, customs. Here they will check you if you're bringing anything illegal into the country, such as firearms, guns, drugs, or too much money. So custom, it's a usual procedure to go into the country. Number 9, check-in. Check-in, it's a place where you show your tickets and get necessary information about your flight or plane, where to go, where you will sit, and so on. Number 10, passport control. It is a place at an airport where an official checks your passport, or just a person who works at an airport checks your passport. And number 11, gates. Gates, it's a part of an airport where travelers are allowed to get on or off a particular plane. It's like, how to give you an example, maybe it's like a platform for trains, but gates for airports. Number 12, security check. There they check you. Maybe you have some dangerous things with you and they aren't allowed on a plane, especially weapons. Security, it's security. I don't know what to add here. Now, have a look at this list again and try to memorize these words. Part D. Listen and write 6 places where you could hear these announcements or conversations. I can see number 1, doors opening. It's a lift, something like that. And look, it isn't an easy task, but a good one. Try to use context to identify a place at an airport. Keywords and sound effects will help you. Do it, then check it.
3.2. 1,
Doors opening. Second floor. Departures. Check-in and bag drop.
2,
Excuse me, my suitcase hasn't arrived. Do you know where I can go to report it?
Yes, madam. Lost luggage is that window over there.
3,
Can you take your boots off, please?
Sorry?
Your boots? Take them off and put them on the belt, please.
4,
Boarding for British Airways flight BA0564 to Milan will begin in a few minutes. Passengers in rows 15 to 30 are invited to board first. Please have your passport and boarding pass ready.
5,
Are you here on vacation?
Yes, I am.
How long are you staying?
2 weeks.
6,
Passport and boarding pass, please. Thanks. How many bags are you checking in?
3.2. 1,
Doors opening. Second floor. Departures. Check-in and bag drop.
2,
Excuse me, my suitcase hasn't arrived. Do you know where I can go to report it?
Yes, madam. Lost luggage is that window over there.
3,
Can you take your boots off, please?
Sorry?
Your boots? Take them off and put them on the belt, please.
4,
Boarding for British Airways flight BA0564 to Milan will begin in a few minutes. Passengers in rows 15 to 30 are invited to board first. Please have your passport and boarding pass ready.
5,
Are you here on vacation?
Yes, I am.
How long are you staying?
2 weeks.
6,
Passport and boarding pass, please. Thanks. How many bags are you checking in?
Part 2, pronunciation, the letter G. Part A, look at the word baggage. How are GG and GE pronounced? So GG is pronounced like G, baggage, and GE is pronounced like J. There are 2 different sounds, G, J. Now part B, as you can guess, put the words from the list in the correct row. Like girl with the sound G and jazz with the sound J. And like you see, gate it sound G, so you put it in the first row. And foggy, it is an also sound G, so you put it in the first row as well. So try to do the rest on your own. Then listen and check.
Three 3.3.
Girl. G. Gate. Foggy. Forget. Guide. Guest. Begin. Gift. Guarantee. Organize.
Jazz. J. Large. Village. Engineer. Agent. Region. Emergency. General.
Part number 3. Reading and listening. Part A. Read the article about trip aside. Do you think it's a good idea? First, don't worry now about the gaps that you see in this text, about some words that you may not know. Your task now is to read and understand the main idea of the article. What is it about? After reading, try to answer the question, do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea? What do you think? Now read and answer the question. To my mind, if people like an idea and they are ready to use it and to pay for it, it's a good idea. And that's obvious. Speaking of the second task, do you remember that the text has some gaps in it? Let's complete the article. Part B. Read the article again and complete it with the missing phrases from A to H. A. Don't just go to sleep at the airport. B. It was an immediate success. C. The experience gave Emmanuel the idea for a new business. D. Looking around the duty-free shop for the 8th time. E. They really didn't want to spend 8 hours waiting for their connecting flight. F. They were really stressed about getting back in time. G. Guarantees to get them back to the airport in time for their connecting flight. And H. You're terrified that you won't get back in time. This task isn't easy at all. You have to understand the context to complete missing phrases. But it's a nice challenge. Try to do this task slowly. Pay attention to the details. Then we do it together. Good luck with it. Let's complete this task together. No more boring stopovers. Go on a guided tour. Few things are more depressing than spending hours in an airport terminal waiting for a connecting flight. There you are, sitting in the departure lounge, watching the clock. Or, look, we need ing here, watching the clock or doing something else. With ing, only this one, looking around the duty-free shop for the 8th time. I think it comes here. Let's put it in number 1, D. Next, and the most frustrating thing is that outside the airport, there is a foreign city, which you'd really like to look around, full of great tourist attractions, restaurants, and shops. But you don't want to leave the airport because, so we need to have a reason here You don't want to leave the airport because. Because what? Because don't just no. Think because guarantees. Maybe because you're terrified that you won't get back in time and will miss your flight. I think it's H here. Frenchman Emmanuel Rosenblum and his sister were on a stopover at Warsaw's main airport 3 years ago. But so they decided to go into town. But they really didn't want to spend 8 hours waiting for their connecting flight. I think it comes here. E. Number 3. We left the airport on our own, says Mr. Rosenblum, but we didn't know which bus to take and what? And don't just go to sleep at the airport. No, I don't think, but we didn't know which bus to take and it was a no, the experience no, looking around no, already stressed. It's like yeah? We didn't know which bus to take and we were really stressed about getting back in time. It's F here, I think. They code their flight and we need past simple here, yeah? Code. And what is past simple? Guarantees, I don't think so. It was an immediate success, no. I think the experience gave Emmanuel the idea for a new business. I think C comes here. In this gap. Millions of air travelers make stopovers every year, so Emmanuel thought he could organize short guided trips into the nearest city or countryside. His idea is that a guide picks up the travelers at the airport, takes them quickly around the sites and to a restaurant, and then guarantees to get them back to the airport in time for their connecting flight, I think. Because you see, it's a verb, like takes, picks, and guarantees. So I think it's okay here. In March 2015, he and business partner Anna started their stopover tours business called Trip Aside in Paris. And today, 7, I think it was an immediate success. And today it has expanded to Frankfurt, London, Brussels, Rome, and Madrid. Now other small companies are offering similar tours worldwide, from Beijing to Moscow. So next time you have a long stopover between flights, book a tour. So the last one, don't just go to sleep at the airport, book a tour. I think 8's here. So I hope it is helpful for you. Now let's move on. Part C. Look at some words and phrases from the article related to air travel. What do you think they mean? Stopover, American English layover, connecting flight, departure lounge, duty-free shop, air traveler. So you can do this task in different ways. You can try to explain these words in English, or you can just try to remember the translation of these phrases. Or you can check it on Google, for example. After you complete this task, I will explain these words for you. Everything as usually. So let's do it. Now let's have a look. Stopover, it's a short stay somewhere between two parts of a journey. Connecting flight. It's a second flight where you have had to change planes. Departure lounge. Departure lounge, the place at an airport where you wait for your flight. Duty-free shop. It's a shop in an airport or in a ship, etc. that sells things like cigarettes, alcohol, perfume, etc. without tax on them, so it's usually a little bit cheaper than in usual shops. Air traveler, it's a passenger on a plane. Now look at this list again, and then we will move on. As usually, for my Russian-speaking audience, I'm going to do a translation. Ну, давайте теперь переведем данный отрывок. Нету больше скучных промежуточных рейсов, так сказать. Нет, не промежуточных рейсов, точнее, остановок, либо ожиданий. Сходите на экскурсию. Несколько вещей, которые более депрессивные или более удручающие, чем, получается, провести часы в терминале аэропорта, ожидая стыковочного рейса. Так, и тут у нас дальше идет. Ну и вот вы сидите в зале ожидания и смотрите на часы. Или, получается, здесь, оглядываетесь вокруг, или бродите, можно сказать, крутитесь вокруг дьюти-шопа, дьюти-фри-шопа, или магазина дьюти-фри уже 8-й раз подряд. И самая расстраивающая или самая удручающая штука — это то, что, получается, снаружи аэропорта есть иностранный город, который вы бы хотите, там погулять вокруг, посмотреть на него, полный чудесных туристических всяких штук. Это у нас достопримечательностей, ресторанов и магазинов. Но вы не хотите покидать аэропорт, потому что вы в ужасе от того, что, вы очень боитесь того, что вы не прибудете назад вовремя и пропустите свой полет. Такой момент. Француз Эммануэль и его сестра, получается, были, в ожидании, то есть вот таком на пересадке, получается, в аэропорту или в Варшавском главном аэропорту 3 года назад. Но, что-то у нас но, они очень не хотели провести 8 часов, ожидая их, получается, стыковочного рейса. Вот поэтому они решили сходить в город. Мы покинули аэропорт, самостоятельно. Сами по себе, сказал мистер Розенблум. Но мы не знали, какой, получается, автобус взять. В смысле, это я дословно перевел, на каком автобусе поехать. И мы были, тут не прям в стрессе, то есть мы очень сильно волновались про то, как бы нам вернуться вовремя. Они, получается, успели на свой самолет, и, получается, вот этот опыт дал Эммануэлю, или принес Эммануэлю идею для нового бизнеса. Миллионы, получается, путешественников make stopovers, останавливаются в аэропортах каждый год, то есть в ожидании. Вот поэтому Эммануэль подумал, что он смог бы организовать такие короткие экскурсии в ближайший город или, countryside, загородную местность, если там аэропорт находится. Его идея, она заключается в том, что, его идея, что туристический гид, получается, забирает путешественников в аэропорту, проводит их быстренько вокруг достопримечательностей и до ресторана, а затем, получается, гарантирует, что он их приведет обратно в аэропорт вовремя на их пересадочный рейс. То есть, чтобы все они успели сделать. В марте 2015-го он и его бизнес-партнер Анна начали их, получается, вот эти стоп-овер экскурсии, бизнес по этим всем делам, который назывался Trip Aside в Париже. Это это сразу получило успех, и сегодня это expanded, это имеется в виду расширилось, то есть обрело новые масштабы, до Франкфурта, Лондона, Брюсселя, Рима и Мадрида. Теперь и другие маленькие компании предлагают похожие экскурсии по всему миру, от Пекина до Москвы. Итак, в следующий раз, когда у вас будет длинная остановка в аэропорту между полетами, не надо просто идти и спать в аэропорту. Забронируйте себе подобную экскурсию или забронируйте себе такой вот тур. Part D. Listen to a traveler meeting his guide at an airport. Which city is he in? Let's make it easier for you. It will be one of the 6 cities mentioned in the article. Paris, Frankfurt, London, Brussels, Rome, or Madrid. Pay your attention to some details. Names of tourist attractions, certain nationality words, names of food. All of these will help you identify the city, especially one type of food the whole world is crazy about. Good luck with it.
3.4.
Hello, Mr. Bevan. I'm Anna, your tour guide.
Hi. Please call me Jake.
Okay, Jake. Nice to meet you. How was the flight? Are you very tired?
No, I'm fine.
Great. Let's go to the car park then. Is it your first time here?
Yeah, I was in Europe when I was a student, but somehow I never got here.
And your final destination is London, is that right?
Yes, I'm going to give a talk at a conference in Oxford.
Ah, so work, not pleasure.
Yes. Well, maybe some pleasure too. I have a friend, well, an ex-girlfriend, really, who I was with when I was a student. She's British. She lives in Oxford, and we're planning to meet up.
That's nice. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you a bit about our tour today. We're going to drive to the center. It takes about 45 minutes. And then we're going to start at the Colosseum.
Great. I've always wanted to see it.
And then we're going to visit the Forum. After that, we're going to see the Pantheon, one of the oldest buildings in the city.
Oh, wow.
So then we are very near the Via del Corso, where all the best shops are. Would you like to maybe do some shopping?
Well, I'd like to see the shops, but I'm probably not going to buy anything.
Maybe a little present? A present for your friend in Oxford?
Well, maybe.
And then I'm sure you're going to be hungry. So I'm going to take you to a really nice restaurant for lunch. We can have pizza or a good carbonara, a gelato, an ice cream, that is. Our typical dishes, but I promise you, very different from Italian food in America.
Sounds great. And then back to the airport, I guess?
That's right. We need to allow time for that.
Yes, I don't want to miss my flight.
Don't worry. We do this tour every day, and nobody has ever missed their flight.
Is it going to be very hot today?
No, not too hot. It's going to be nice, about 22 degrees.
Perfect. It's going to be a fantastic day.
Here we are. If you can just wait a minute while I pay for the parking. Oh, Mr. Bevan, Jake, is this yours?
My passport. Oh, thanks, Anna. Typical me. I always lose things when I'm traveling.
So the answer is Rome. It wasn't directly mentioned in the audio, of course, but maybe you heard Colosseum. It's a very big building there, a famous one. Then pizza, this word I was talking about before, pasta, gelato. It is all about Italy. And as we know, Rome is in Italy. That is why the answer is Rome. Part E. Listen again. Mark the sentences true or false. Correct the false sentences. Oh, it's a very good task. Jack isn't very tired. He hasn't been to Europe before. His next flight is to Lisbon. He is traveling to a conference. He doesn't know anybody there. The tour includes visits to historic sites. or to historic places, so to speak. He isn't planning to buy anything for himself. They don't have time to stop for lunch. The weather forecast isn't very good. He's looking forward to the tour. Only one piece of advice I can give you: listen to the audio a couple of times, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, and so on. Try to do this task on your own, only then check your answer and compare your ideas. And it's okay to make some mistakes, because we learn from them. So let's do it.
3.4.
Hello, Mr. Bevan. I'm Anna, your tour guide.
Hi. Please call me Jake.
Okay, Jake. Nice to meet you. How was the flight? Are you very tired?
No, I'm fine.
Great. Let's go to the car park then. Is it your first time here?
Yeah, I was in Europe when I was a student, but somehow I never got here.
And your final destination is London, is that right?
Yes, I'm going to give a talk at a conference in Oxford.
Ah, so work, not pleasure.
Yes. Well, maybe some pleasure too. I have a friend, well, an ex-girlfriend, really, who I was with when I was a student. She's British. She lives in Oxford, and we're planning to meet up.
That's nice. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you a bit about our tour today. We're going to drive to the center. It takes about 45 minutes, and then we're going to start at the Colosseum.
Great. I've always wanted to see it.
And then we're going to visit the Forum. After that, we're going to see the Pantheon, one of the oldest buildings in the city.
Oh, wow.
So then we are very near the Via del Corso, where all the best shops are. Would you like to maybe do some shopping?
Well, I'd like to see the shops, but I'm probably not going to buy anything.
Maybe a little present? A present for your friend in Oxford?
Well, maybe.
And then I'm sure you're going to be hungry. So I'm going to take you to a really nice restaurant for lunch. We can have pizza or a good carbonara, a gelato, an ice cream, that is. Our typical dishes, but I promise you, very different from Italian food in America.
Sounds great. And then back to the airport, I guess?
That's right. We need to allow time for that.
Yes, I don't want to miss my flight.
Don't worry. We do this tour every day, and nobody has ever missed their flight.
Is it going to be very hot today?
No, not too hot. It's going to be nice, about 22 degrees.
Perfect. It's going to be a fantastic day.
Here we are. If you can just wait a minute while I pay for the parking. Oh, Mr. Bevan, Jake, is this yours?
My passport. Oh, thanks, Anna. Typical me. I always lose things when I'm traveling.
Let's check your answers. Jack isn't very tired. It's true. He hasn't been to Europe before. Actually, he has been to Europe before, that's why it's false. His next flight is to Lisbon. It's false. His next flight is to London, not to Lisbon. He's traveling to a conference. It's true. He doesn't know anybody there. It's false because he has an old friend, actually ex-girlfriend there. The tour includes visits to historic sites. It's true. He isn't planning to buy anything for himself. It's true. They don't have time to stop for lunch. Actually, it's false. They're going to have lunch at a nice restaurant. The weather forecast isn't very good. It's false. The weather forecast is very good. And he's looking forward to the tour. It's true, of course. Now have a look at the audio transcription and we will move on. Part F. Have you ever had a long stopover at an airport? Where were you? What did you do? Oh, speaking of me, as I told you earlier, I've never been to an airport, and that's why I can't tell you anything. I can only imagine that having a long stopover at an airport can be very, very boring. All cafes are expensive, and there's nothing to do but to sit and wait. But what about you? Can you say something about this? You can start with yes, I have, or no, I haven't. In case you have, you can say it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago when I was traveling to, and so on. Where were you? I was at, and name of the airport. What did you do? It's up to you. You can say whatever you want. I did that, I did this, and so on. And try to list things that you did there at an airport. Let's go. Speak about this. Now I will translate the audio transcript for my Russian-speaking audience. Let's see. Здравствуйте, мистер Беван или Биван. Я Анна, ваш экскурсовод. Привет, пожалуйста, называйте меня Джейк. Хорошо, Джейк, приятно познакомиться с тобой. Как был твой полет? Ты очень устал? Нет, я в порядке. Замечательно. Пойдемте на парковку тогда. Это ваш первый раз здесь? Да, я был в Европе, когда я был студентом, но как-то я сюда никогда не добирался. То есть в Европе-то он был, но вот именно в этом месте он не был. И ваша, тут дословно, я не помню точно, как переводится, то есть ваша окончательная остановка — это Лондон, правильно? То есть вы летите в Лондон. Да, я, получается, собираюсь, или у меня в планах выступить с речью на конференции в Оксфорде. Это работа, не удовольствие, да? Да? Может быть, немного удовольствия есть тоже. У меня есть подруга там, точнее, бывшая девушка, правда, так получается, с которой я был, когда я был студентом. Она, получается, британка, она живет в Оксфорде. И мы планируем там, meet-up — это как пересечься, можно так сказать. О, это классно. Окей. Итак, теперь я вот вам расскажу чуть-чуть больше про нашу экскурсию сегодня. Мы, получается, поедем на машине до центра. Это займет около 45 минут. А затем мы, получается, начнем все это дело в Колизее, то есть в этом здании. Замечательно, я всегда хотел на это посмотреть. А затем мы собираемся посетить форум. После этого мы, получается, собираемся увидеть Пантеон, одно из самых старейших зданий в городе. Вау! Итак, после этого мы, получается, тут это планы, поэтому здесь будет как-то, мы будем рядом с вот этим местом, где все лучшие магазины. Не хотели ли бы вы, может быть, закупиться, что-нибудь купить? Я бы хотел посмотреть на магазины, но я, возможно, не буду ничего покупать. Может быть, маленький подарок для вашей подруги в Оксфорде. Может быть. А затем, я уверена, вы будете очень голодны. Поэтому я собираюсь провести вас, или довести вас до очень хорошего ресторана на обед. Мы можем поесть пиццы, или хорошие карбонары, или желато. Это у нас просто называется так мороженое. Вот это что. То есть это наши типичные национальные блюда. Тут нет слова национальный, это имеется в виду типичные для нашей страны блюда. Но я обещаю вам, они очень отличаются от итальянской еды в Америке. И Джейк говорит, звучит замечательно. А затем назад в аэропорт, я полагаю. Это верно. Ну и вот это предложение, это как бы да, нам обязательно надо найти время для этого. Хорошо, я не хочу, получается, пропускать свой полет. Не беспокойся. Мы делаем эти, получается, экскурсии каждый день, и никто еще никогда не пропускал свои самолеты. Так, а разве Так, это у нас is it going to be very hot today? Разве сегодня не будет жарко? Нет, не слишком жарко. Будет замечательно, около 22 градусов. Идеально. Вот тогда может быть, это будет вообще отличный день. Here we are. Ну так люди говорят, как, ну вот мы и пришли. Если вы можете подождать минутку, пока я, получается, плачу за парковку. Ох, мистер Биван, Джейк, точнее, это ваше? Мой паспорт. Спасибо, Анна. Ну, это typical me, такой типичный я. Типичная вещь с моей стороны. Я всегда теряю вещи, когда я путешествую. Такой вот был диалог. Отлично, идем дальше. Part 4. Grammar. Be going to, plans and predictions. Part A. Look at these sentences from Jake and Anna's conversation. Complete the gaps with a form of be going to plus verb. Then listen and check. Look, it's a kind of tricky thing here. You will be really confused here. But try to do this task. You need to put am is are before pronouns and then to add a verb. For example, like number 1, I'm going to give a talk at a conference. Or I don't want to spoil you, all pleasure. So do it, then check yourself.
Three point 5. 1,
I'm going to give a talk at a conference.
2,
We're going to drive to the center.
3,
And then we're going to visit the forum.
4,
I'm probably not going to buy anything.
5,
Is it going to be very hot?
6,
It's going to be a fantastic day.
Now part B, in pairs decide if sentence 1 to 6 are plans or predictions about the future. Write PL for plan or PR for prediction. Oh, try to complete it, then we'll check. I'm going to give a talk at a conference. I think it's a plan. We are going to drive to the center. It's also planned. And then we are going to visit the forum. It's a plan. I'm probably not going to buy anything. It's a prediction. Is it going to be very hot? It's not a plan, it's a prediction. It's going to be a fantastic day. It can't be a plan, so it's a prediction. Now, let's move on to the main grammar part. Grammar 3A. Be going to, plans and predictions. Listen to the examples given here.
3.6. 1,
I'm going to give a talk at a conference.
He's going to meet me at the airport.
2,
I'm sure England are going to lose tomorrow.
It's going to rain tonight.
So, this piece of grammar isn't new for you, but let's see. Number 1. We use be going to plus infinitive to talk about future plans or intentions. And number 2. We also use be going to plus infinitive to make a prediction when we know or can see that something is going to happen. For example, it's winter there, so it's going to be cold. Look at that car, it's going to crash. So it's when from the context it's clear what's going to happen. I hope it's not going to be difficult at all. Let's see some practical stuff here, or let's look at it. Part A. Complete with be going to plus a verb from the list. What film are you going to see tonight? Is your sister going to something to drive? Try to complete these gaps here. And part B. Look at the pictures. Make sentences with be going to plus a verb. You're going to love this book. We're for work. Scott is the match. It can be a little bit confusing here, but do this task and then check yourself. Now let's go 3A, complete with be going to plus a verb from the list. What film are you going to see tonight? Yeah, here it's is she, is your sister going to study, learn, listen, cook? No, I think learn to drive. Here it's something like that. Next is we aren't going to go camping next summer. We are going to stay in a hotel. Next is this one. You're going to in class 3 next year. I think study. Class 3, yeah, it's study. Okay, I need to maybe to do like this, just to make it more convenient for me. He's a taxi to the airport. Do we have get? Or take get, yes. So it's something like he's going to get taxi to the airport. Number 5. Here I think I'm going to cook a family meal tonight, or a meal for my family. Next is you can talk, but I'm not going to listen to you. Strange. I'm not going to listen to you. Okay, it's a little bit strange here, but I think you got the idea. What are you going to do, I think? What are you going to do when you leave school? I'm going to study history, yes? Oh. You're going to be in class 3 next year and study. So it's okay. Let's change it. Nothing. Sometimes it happens, you see? So I will delete study here and I will put you're going to be in class 3 next year. And here I'm going to study history at university. Now everything is fine, everything is okay. So let's move on to the part B. Here is something like that. You're going to love this book. We are going to be late for work. Scott is going to win the match, I think. And finally, be careful. You're going to break it or to drop it. There are some options, so you can choose anything you want, but the idea must be similar. So that's all here. We can move on. Finally, we have a speaking part. What are your plans? Student A and Student B. Okay, we will do 2 lists. The more practice, the better. It's our motto, yeah? I hope you agree. Part A, ask B your questions. B, it's like Student B, your questions using going to. Ask for more information. Here, Oh, look, let me answer first, and then you will do it on your own. Oh, let's go. There are a lot of questions here. What are you going to do after class? Let's change this question. What are you going to do after the video? I'm going to have some coffee because I want to. Next question. What time are you going to bed tonight? Tonight I'm going to bed at 3 o'clock because I have a lot of things to do. Where are you going to have lunch tomorrow? Tomorrow I'm going to have lunch at home because I like homemade food, so I don't like restaurants or cafes. What are you going to do on Saturday night? On Saturday night I'm going to watch a film in German because I want a challenge for my mind. Where are you going to go for your next holiday? Next holiday I'm going to go somewhere. I don't have any particular plans, but I'd like to explore new areas. Are you going to study English next year? Of course I am. You know, English learning is an constant or is an endless process, so to speak. So I'm definitely going to continue developing my language skills. Let's have a look at the next list of questions. What are you going to do, or are you going to go out this evening? No, I'm not, but I'd love to, but I have no time for this. So that's why. What are you going to have for dinner tonight? I'm going to have some fish soup with a lot of bread. What time are you going to get up tomorrow? I'm going to get up about 10 o'clock, I think. Are you going to go anywhere next weekend? Next weekend I'm going to go nowhere, or just I'm going to nowhere. I'm going to stay at home. What are you going to do next summer? Next summer I'm going to get or to win some free time for myself and use it to create more new educational videos for you. Something like that. It's a very good plan, I think. When are you going to do your English homework? Oh, hell. I think I will skip this one. I don't have any English homework, but I'm going to check it a lot, so to speak. Not to do, but to check it. I think now is your turn to answer all of these questions. Talk about your plans. Try to give extra information as much as you can. Explain why you're going to do this or that. Explain how you're going to do it, or just give your opinion upon your plans or some details and so on. So, as usually, your goal is to say as much as possible here. Let's go. Let me show you the final task from this part. Guys, I don't know. You can do this task if you have some experience about that. So if you have no idea what to say, you can skip this task. Speaking, number 5. Work with a partner. Imagine you work for TripAside and you're planning a tour for people who have a stopover at your nearest airport. They arrive at 9 a.m. and need to be back at the airport at 3:30 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. Discuss these questions. How are you going to get to the town or city center? By bus, by taxi, by something else? What are you going to see in what order? Like first we are going to see this, then we are going to do that, and finally we are going to go there. Something like that. Where and when are you going to have lunch? Oh, food is a very important thing. What time are you going to leave to get back to the airport? Something like that here. Present your plan to the rest of the class and listen to theirs. Then vote for the best one. Okay, part B, we can skip it. I usually give you examples of what to say and how to say, but now I have no idea. I have no idea, like, I don't know where my nearest airport is, what is nearby, what to do there, and so on. I will be the most terrible tourist guide ever. So if you have something to say, just try for fun. If you don't, go to the homework section and check your workbook tasks. Now let's have a look at your homework task. Часть A. Заполните слова пропущенными гласными. Vowels гласные. Это у нас check-in, регистрация. Я так понимаю, это вверх-вниз, up and down. Это lifts. Так, это у нас название. Ну, это ворота просто на выход. Gates. Так, G5, 25. Это у нас тележка, trolley. Это у нас customs. Customs — это таможенная служба. То есть там, где проверяют, что вы купили, с собой везете. Так, arrivals — это на прибытие, то есть люди, которые прилетают в аэропорт, там это место. Давайте сразу аналог. Это на прибытие, это наоборот. Departures — это те, кто улетает. Такая же местность. То есть прибытие, отбытие. И terminal — это, собственно, сам терминал в аэропорту. Так, вот такие вот слова здесь. Ну, это просто на проверку. Дальше часть B. Заполните или завершите предложение со словом is A и со словом is B. То есть мы